folks, today we're going to be taking a look at first in, last out. I'll actually show you what that means here in a little bit, but you can think about it. Now, I'm sure by now everybody's seen my truck, how beautiful it is and how much I love it. But it's never been empty when I've shown it to you. And the other day, I was looking at my van and I was like, man, that is huge. What are you talking about? Well, let me show you. Take a look at this. That right there is what we call wheel gap. And I have it set at the 1 foot mark, so we're looking at about 5.5 inches of wheel gap. So, my truck actually has a little slant, right? Well, in all my years, I've always, been hauling stuff or been loaded down, ready to go in a moment's notice. Well, we're about to see what 1,000 pounds of equipment can do to that 5.5 inch wheel gap. Okay, first in, last out. You have to plan how you're going to pack the truck. You can't just nilly-willy put the stuff in and expect it to come out. You gotta, remember I told you my show comes in on 3 dolly loads? Well, they are specifically planned for a particular set of events that enable me to get in quick and get out quick. Here's the space that we have to work with. Now, a long time ago, when that seat wasn't there, I could go all the way, and my packing was significantly different. I used to put, let's see, where would it be? It's been so long. I'd put the subs over here, and then I would lay the tops right down next to it, a bunch of support bags, and then this whole little section all the way out here was for my support cases and my extra lighting and stuff. But the family car broke down, and we still needed to get around, so I went to the junkyard and bought this this Dodge 4th row. So it goes all the way across. I did that intentionally. I didn't want to leave that little gap right there so you could access the back. Now, we need as much seating as possible. So, let's get some gear in here. Let's get to work, because we are looking at 11:35. Let's see what we can do. Alright, that's pretty much it for the load in on a normal typical show, with the exception of this case here, which is the Intimidator 1.2s and the lighting controller. I don't normally bring that with me. They're never mind. But I want to show you this nifty little tool I got. Solid PVC rod, a little bit of PVC there. And this hose clamp was just there to hold it while the glue dried, and I just never bothered to take it off. But I'll show you why I made it. My dolly here sits on top of the subs, and if you take a corner too hard or whatever, the dolly shifts off to the side and starts rubbing on the whatever. And then when you go to get it out, it's kind of hard. So I made this little bugger. Now, it can't go nowhere. It's locked in there. I'm pretty darn happy with that. Alright, now let's load the Rain 38s. Alright, let's check that wheel gap. Alright, so our 1 foot mark was the starting point, and it looks like we've dropped somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 inches. But we still have 3 inches of wheel gap. I'm not intimately familiar with the towing package on this van. I'm not sure if this is a stock setup or maybe they beefed it up a little bit. I bought the van 5 years ago, and this is a 2000. It was always intended to be a cargo van, so maybe they did put a little something extra on it. It has a V6, but it is a big V6. We're talking 4.2 liter. You get 13 miles to the gallon hauling all this stuff, and if I'm not hauling this stuff, then I get 14.5 gallons. So either I haul the stuff and get 13, or I don't haul the stuff and get 14.5. I mean, there's really not that much difference between empty and heavy. Okay, that about wraps up the load in. Now let's go get to the gig and do the load out.